I used to think boundaries made me mean. Then I realized people-pleasing was making me miserable. These 6 boundaries changed everything, and if you're a recovering people pleaser, they'll change your life too. Guys, if you're new here, I am Melanie Silva, recovered people pleaser turned boundary baddie. Before we begin, if you're a people pleaser who struggles with saying no in social settings, click my free guide below, Say No with Grace. It will help you get out of those positions. All right, let's jump in. So, number 1, boundaries at work. So I used to work in sales and I offered free consultations to acquire new clients. Now, I would get into these situations where I would have a consultation with someone that was supposed to be 30 minutes and it would turn into an hour, turn into an hour and a half or 2 hours, and the person would never end up purchasing from me. You see, what would happen is we would get on the phone, I would ask them to tell me a little bit about themselves and kind of their situation that they were in that I thought I could help them out with. And they would go on and on about their lifelong story, telling me how it all began, then their partner who backstabbed them. Next, they were circling all the way back to their childhood trauma and how dad never picked them up from safety. Next thing you know, I'm feeling bad, I'm giving them advice, I'm making jokes. Next thing you know, it's been 2 hours, okay? And here I am thinking, all right, I've done everything I possibly could for this potential client. And you know what? They didn't purchase from me. And this happened a lot. And I couldn't help but think, what is going on? Why aren't people converting into clients when I'm giving them everything? And then I had this realization, why would they get off a call with someone who's being friendly to them, giving them free advice? Like, why would they get off a call with someone who is making them feel good on the inside, right? They're not going to put a stop to this. I have to put a stop to this. So that's when I started setting professional boundaries. I started letting people know that initial calls will go up to 30 minutes tops. That's when I got very specific about the questions I asked them and for the answers I was looking for. I took control over the conversation, and I wouldn't be afraid to cut them off. I would say something along the lines of like, hey, just to let you know, I have a hard out at 3 p.m. I want to make sure I get these questions answered so I can best help you. So do you mind if I jump to the next question? I started going into these calls with these boundaries already lined up just in case I needed them. Sometimes you don't need them, and that's great, but you have to be prepared because at the end of the day, if you are someone who is a people pleaser or maybe too nice, people are never going to turn away your kindness. They're never going to. So it's up to you to take responsibility for your kind, friendly nature. And furthermore, if you're working in a professional space, you need to command a certain amount of respect because people could like you, but that does not mean that they will pay for you. So you need to assert authority from the very beginning. And when you draw boundaries with people, they can see that you assert your authority. So they're less likely to keep challenging you, and they're going to see, oh, this person's not my friend. This person is here to provide a service. I can trust that they have the power and skill based on how they're handling me. Establishing boundaries at work and with clients was a huge game changer for me. Number 2, establishing boundaries with male friends. Hello, ladies. This one is especially for you. And if you're a guy and you're watching, you can switch the perspective as it pertains to you. So I'm a woman. I'm going to speak from my experience, my point of view. You get it. It's difficult sometimes with male friends because you want to be able to have a fun rapport with them, but sometimes guys will take things too far and they need to see that you have lines in the sand that they cannot cross. For example, one time I was with a group of guys and we were joking around, and one of the guys said something to me along the lines of, "Oh, I don't think you have good dirty talk in the bedroom." Ew. Okay. Now, in this moment, I was offended. And in my head, I was like, "Excuse me, I I have great dirty talk. How dare you? You don't know me, sucker. Oh, you want me to prove it right now? But before I went ahead and said that, I realized that would give them another opening to get further perspective into my intimate life. I did not want him to have that. Also, if I came off too defensive, I would have come off as insecure, which is even more embarrassing. So I also didn't want anyone else in the room to have that insight into my romantic life. So what I said instead was, I don't kiss and tell. And the guys laughed and he moved on. And it was a very light sentence, an expression that we've all heard before, but it was enough to be like, back off, thanks. The best part about it is it did not validate his assumption either way, right? Like, it didn't say, oh yeah, I'm bad at dirty talk, or oh no, I'm good at dirty talk. Like, my message was solely, I'm not having this conversation with you. Because men will always test your boundaries, and it's so important that you keep your boundaries high as a woman, so you don't get taken advantage of. I mean, because what happens is sometimes as a gal, you want to seem cool in front of the guys. You want to seem like you can hang, and then you start to kind of reveal more about yourself, or you get into this banter with them. You start joking about sex with a group of guys, and then it's a slippery slope. You think you'll share just a breadcrumb of your personal life. Next thing you know, you've handed them the whole loaf of bread. Just take it. Take the whole loaf of bread. That's what you boys like, huh? Huh? You want it? Yeah, this is the first time a boy kissed me. Okay? Yeah, and this is the first time a boy boinked me. Okay? And you know what else? You know what else? This is the first time he broke my heart. Oh, and if drinks are involved, forget about it, okay? Now they know why you and your ex broke up. They're prank calling him, asking him why he has such a teeny weeny. Like, it's a mess. You might have started the conversation with the boys as just wanting to drop a little witty tidbit, but then as you started competing with the guy in funny banter in front of your male peers, you accidentally overshared, and now you feel overexposed with these guys who don't even have sincere care for you. Who needs that? Like, you don't get anything good out of it. Just a quick hit of validation. But once that validation leaves, so does your dignity. Also, let's say this is happening and you might have a male crush in the room. If he sees that you just let any guy have the details to your personal life, then he'll see you in a different way. And he might not be able to verbalize that, but on a subconscious level, he's like, oh, well, that girl allows any guy to, just know anything about her personal life easily. Then she's not for me. Who's to say she can't keep our personal life personal? Personal. Listen, I get it. It can be tempting to want to say the funny, cool, or interesting thing. Like, it's understandable that you would want to entertain the guys, but when entertaining them comes at the cost of leaving you feeling exposed, it's not worth it. And if you're a guy, this applies to you too. You can't expect respect from women if you're out here oversharing your intimate life or listening to theirs, because there are girls who will trauma dump on men and then never become their girlfriend. Do not give out too much information about your intimate life to the other gender, especially if you're trying to attract them, all right? Because once again, you'll get a lot of attention, but no sincere love or respect. Number 3, oversharing with strangers. Uh-oh. This is a boundary that needs to be put up, okay? This one, I used to do a lot, not gonna lie. There have been times where I overshared at parties and then things got weird. It would look a lot like this.
So my ex was super toxic.
Oh my gosh, me too. Mine gaslit me so much, he had me apologizing for his cheating.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh my gosh, what are you thinking? This is trauma bonding, not hanky-panky. I'm a lady. You have to take me out 5 to 10 times consistently first. This would happen to me And like, I had no idea why. And then it was like, oh, maybe because I was emotionally opening up to him. You really have to watch it when you're around strangers. If you're a people pleaser or even just naturally very friendly, you feel like you want to connect, but oversharing too much will lead you into situations you didn't expect, and sometimes you didn't even want. People are sizing you up as soon as they meet you, and so you don't want to set this expectation of like, oh, if I get asked anything, I will for sure tell all. Because then you will be seen as too accessible, too easy. Where's the mystery? All right? It's the same reason why we look at designer bags differently than regular bags, right? Because the designer bag costs more money. They are harder to get, so they seem more valuable. The bag that anyone can get is not treated the same. The more accessible it is, the cheaper people treat it. Therefore, if you treat yourself as a cheap bag, you will attract cheaper people into your life as well as cheaper experiences. Like in that example with the guy that wanted to kiss me, that scenario would have been fine if that was all I was looking for, right? But if I'm looking for sincere love, I'm not just trying to kiss or have a fling for one night, right? So I need to stop those scenarios. At the end of the day, I'm not looking for a man just to listen for me to one night. I'm looking for a man to listen to me over and over again for the rest of my life. I'm playing, kind of. That takes time. A sincere, valuable relationship takes time. This goes for men or women, all right? And guys, if you're finding this video helpful, please like and subscribe as it will help me to continue to grow and sustain the channel. Also, if you want my free guide on how to say no with grace, please click the link below. All right, boundary number 4, boundaries with friends. So it can be difficult to establish boundaries with friends because we feel we owe them something. And in some sense we do, right? Like you have to be there for people if you want them to be there for you. But sometimes someone who you love in your life can cross you without even knowing it. And you don't want to start a problem, especially if you're a people pleaser. So you need to establish boundaries, even if it's subtle. For example, I used to have some bad views and opinions about my body, and I was really working on my self-concept about my body and loving on my body and letting go of old, mean, harsh beliefs about my body. I had this friend who was skinnier than me who would always like call herself fat, complain about her body, talk about sometimes starving herself, like all of this stuff. I couldn't take it because I was like, you know what? I'm working on my body image issues. You won't shut up about yours when you're skinnier than me, like, because like if you're skinnier than me, then like you're calling me fat. Then it feels like, I don't know, you're fat, I'm fat, we're all fat. I feel bad about myself when I'm around you. So I finally said like, hey, can we just not talk about body things? I'm working on my own body image thoughts right now, and I just can't handle it. I put the onus on me. I didn't make it about her, even though it kind of was, okay? And that's how I was able to stop her from speaking bad about her body in front of me. I didn't throw arrows at her or make her feel bad about it. I just made it about me. And that way I was able to establish a boundary to protect myself from her in a non-combative way. So we didn't have to get in a huge fight about it. And you know what else? I'll tell you, she stopped outright complaining about how fat she was as a size 4, okay. But then she started talking about her body in implicit ways where she would be like, oh, I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to wear this skirt because it made me look fat, but I don't think it does make me look fat. What do you think, Melanie? And then she would do like this weird pose thing. And then I just realized that she actually had an even deeper insecurity about her body than me. And it had nothing to do with me. But even though it had nothing to do with me, I still had to protect myself. So I said things like, oh, well, you know, I think it's a cute skirt and you should wear what makes you feel good. Anyways, this is what I did today. So once again, this is showing, hey, stop, we're not talking about this anymore, without having to get in a huge combative or an even embarrassing argument. Number 5, Boundaries with family. Ooh, boundaries with family. That is difficult. So it can be hard when you are working on yourself to establish boundaries, and then you realize you have to establish boundaries with your family too. Once again, they love you, you want to keep them in your life, but you also don't want them to ruin your life. One time my sister was going home to visit our family, and at the time, that wasn't practical for me. And also, I'm the youngest in my family. It's always assumed that if my older sister is going home, then I must go home too. And I swear to God, when I told them I wasn't going home with her, oh my gosh, my mom was guilting me, my dad was guilting me, the dog was guilting me. Everybody was like, oh, come on, please. My mom was like, I guess you don't really love us, huh? The people who raised you, huh? They kept pushing and pushing. And finally, I just decided to lay it all out there for them. I was like, listen, I paid X amount for this business class. I am trying to make a new life for myself. If I go home during this time, I will miss a bunch of classes, lose out on money that I paid, and when I come back, I'll be stressed because I'm working full-time while taking these classes. So I'll have to work overtime for weeks. And is that what you want for me? Then of course my mom was like, no, Mela, I don't want you to stress out. Oh my goodness, now that I understand, you see, you never communicate with me, and that's why I push you, because I love you. And maybe if you loved me, you'd be better at communication. So of course she still had to let out some mom guilt, but she got the point, and they stopped making me feel bad. See, if you're a people pleaser, you're used to letting people make you feel bad. In order to stop the habit of people pleasing, you need to teach people to not make you feel bad. Honestly, in this scenario, I did over-explain a bit. I usually advise to not do that, but I believe with family it is different. Therapists will say just to tell your family no and walk. Anyone who comes from a strict traditional family and a Latina mom knows that that won't fly, okay? And that won't fly without starting World War III. So when it comes to family, sometimes it's worth giving the explanation, but make sure you say it in an assertive tone that's non-apologetic. Number 6, everyone's favorite, boundaries with your ex. So the classic question is to keep an ex-partner in your life, yes or no? I'll tell you this, whether you keep them around or cut them off completely, you need boundaries with them. Now, here's my answer to if you should keep them or cut them off completely. 1, if they ever full-on disrespected you as a person, meaning they talked down to you, they cussed at you, they ever got belligerent and scary with you, put you in a place of fear, demoralized you, made you feel really small about yourself, then you absolutely should never talk to them again. Never, nada, zero, zilch. Block them on everything. And you don't need to explain it to them or anyone else. That's it. Now, if your ex-partner is someone that is just someone it didn't work out with, maybe you guys were at different places in life, or you just realized you wanted different things out of life, or whatever reason, I would say for the first 6 months, for sure, block all communication with them. But maybe give them a heads up, like, hey, I have to block you. It's not that I don't think we could be friendly in the future. Notice I said friendly, not friends, but I can't talk to you right now or see you right now without feeling some type of way. So I'm going to take the first 6 months off from you, and you're bullshish. No, I'm just kidding. Don't say that part. Now let's say 6 months, a year goes by even, and somehow you guys are back into each other's lives. Maybe a mutual friend at a party, something brings you back together. And you think to yourself, this person never ruined me. It would be nice to chat with them here and there. I would say if I was you, you can go ahead and grab a bite with them once or twice a year. You can go to social situations where they might be, where other people will also be. But I would not start seeing them on a weekly basis. I would follow them on social media, but maybe block their stories so you can like their posts and seem chill. but you're not updated on their day-to-day through every story. You get to know what everyone's doing every single day of their life on their stories. So you just gotta cut that, okay? You don't need your ex in your mind that much. Okay, so these are boundaries that I would lay down if I was going to have an ex re-enter my life. I would not talk about my romantic life with them. I would not ask them questions about what I should do in emotional situations. Especially as a woman, a lot of times, our spouse, our man can be someone we emotionally vent to. But if you start doing that with an ex, then those emotional bridges start to connect again. So if you are grabbing lunch with an ex, make sure you keep it light. If you two used to bond about horror movies, talk about that. Talk about work. Do not get into the inner emotional landscape of your life. If you're a people pleaser or even just a softer-hearted person in general, this can be difficult, but it must be done to protect yourself. And if you can't handle keeping it light with your ex, like you feel pulled to always go deeper with them, you have to be really real with yourself. You have to do one of two things. You either need to have a conversation with them like, hey, I still have feelings for you. Should we explore getting back together? Or if they were toxic to you, then you need to completely cut them off and just say, hey, it's too deep with you. I wish you all the best, but I can't keep, talking to you and still feel chill. All right? It's tough to do this, but it is protecting yourself. And you have to have faith that you will be able to have a connection with someone else that is just as deep or deeper, because that is what it comes down to. If you are holding on to someone who you know isn't right for you just because of a connection or chemistry, it is because a part of you fears that you will never have this with anyone else. But trust me, there is someone out there that you can feel connected to and is also healthy for you to be with. The more you believe that, the less you will struggle with your exes and with romance in general. So these 6 boundaries were big game changers for me and quite literally helped every aspect of my life. What it comes down to is you being sincere with yourself about what it is that is working and not working for you in your relationships, all of them. Then get real with yourself about why you are getting treated a certain way. Next, look at the situation and find solutions that can help build boundaries around yourself. If you would like more help on building boundaries, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to help my clients build a new life for themselves. Guys, my name is Melanie Silva, recovered people pleaser turned boundary baddie, and I'm excited to see you in the next video.